Do you feel like you're giving up on what your true values are just so that you can fit in, so that you can please other people? I certainly know that that was the case for me, and it erodes away your true identity. Well, stick with me, because this week I want to help you to have a different look at what you are going to invest your time and your energy in, so that you're working closely to your own priorities. Hi, this is Grant Herbert, VUCA Leadership and Sustainable Performance Coach, and today I want to continue our conversation around being intentional and living our life on purpose by helping you to live your values. When the things that you do actually match your personal values, life feels good and you feel satisfied and content. However, when you are working outside your values so that you can overcome those three universal fears of not being enough, of not belonging, and of not being loved, things feel a little bit out of whack. And it's like as if you are like a magnet that is repelling rather than attracting. Everything seems to be out of kilter. And although you may have success on the surface, deep inside you're having feelings of regret. For many years in my military and corporate career, I did exactly that. I subconsciously worked against what my true values were. And therefore, I felt bad about myself and I felt like a fraud, because those things that I said were true values of mine, I wasn't actually living out. So why do we do this? So the first thing is all about compartmentalization, where on one hand, you are the person that you are away from work. And then on the other hand, within your business, your career, you're a totally different person. And that can be a good thing if it's done in a healthy way. There are certain skills that are different to what we're doing in other areas of our life that we need to employ when we are in our career. However, when that goes down to the values level, when we're operating out of a different set of values at work, that's where the problems come in. The second thing is all about comparison, where we are continually comparing ourselves to others and therefore doing things to meet that unhealthy expectation, that unreal world, Instagram-ready realization of what life is supposed to be about, then that is an opportunity to work against who we truly are and what we truly value. And when these things are conflicting, it ends up with resentment, feeling like you have given up on who you are and what you believe just to get ahead. So the great news is we can turn this around. It doesn't matter where you are with it right now. You can make a conscious decision to shift your life back to your values, back to what you really believe, without compromising your career and definitely without compromising who you really are. And when you're able to do that and you have certainty around what you believe in and you have conviction around those things, then your behavior can in turn be congruent with what you say you believe. There's been many opportunities where I have had people speak into my life and it has convicted me that I was living outside my values. And although they didn't do it in a judgmental way, they were doing it to offer me some helpful feedback, I really judged myself. So as we go through this today, I want you to avoid doing that. It's not about another opportunity for you to look down on yourself. This is just drawing a line in the sand and doing a values check-in right now and making sure that if there is any behavior that's outside your true values, that you can rein it back in and incrementally get back on track. When we're able to do this, you are going to have an inner peace that frees you up to flow in your gifts and in your talents and reach the results that you've been looking for in a much more fulfilling way and a lot faster. So the first thing you need to do is actually stop and define your values. If you don't have clarity around what it is that you truly value, then how are you able to align what you do with them? You may have had some values in the past, things that you have not had front of mind, so therefore they have been forgotten. So invest some energy in sitting down and working out what your values are. So what are values? Well, our personal values are the things that you believe are important in the way you live so that you can then determine what your priorities are. Last week, I reminded us of that saying that says when we want to see what someone values, we just need to have a look at their calendar and their bank account. We need to have a look at where they're investing their time and their money. So we can flip that around when we're getting our values together and go, where do I truly want to invest my energy? What do I want to spend my life doing? Who do I want those people to be that are around me when I'm doing it? Our values are like our own personal GPS that we'd wear on our arm, and they guide us to where we want to go. They keep us on track. They're out in front of us so that we can go after them. And then they become a filter for everything that we could get involved in. They help us by influencing our decisions. And they also change over time. I remember years ago, I wanted certain material things that I no longer want. And the reason was, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with wanting material things. The reason I wanted them is I had attached them to success. That when I had my 911 Porsche, I would have arrived. But now I have totally different values and I no longer need those things in my life to feel good about myself. So you, as you go through this process, may also find that the things you wanted years ago, the things you valued before, are different to what it is that you value right now. I know through my burnout period that I learned to value health way up the list from where it was before. So these things would have happened in your life. There would be experiences like a COVID pandemic that have given you a different way of thinking, perhaps, around what you truly value. So once you have written down what those things are that you truly value, they then can determine your priorities. So when we talked about a couple of weeks ago, looking at saying yes and no appropriately, those priorities will help us to do that. Where we can go, well, if I say yes to that, I'm saying no, and is that one of my true priorities? And we can make different decisions. The other great thing about values is that as we are going through situations, and particularly when we feel uneasy or we feel like things aren't going the way we wanted them to go, we can then do a values check. And we can check in and go, where am I out of alignment here? What am I thinking and saying and doing which is not congruent with those things that I value the most? For me, as I said, I felt this way in my corporate career where my highest value was my family. Yet to climb that corporate ladder, which was making me feel good as a person, I was actually taking away from spending time for my family. getting that income and stability that came from my corporate roles was to support my family. Yet I was doing it at the expense of my true value, which was investing quality time with them and enjoying the whole process with them. So what is it for you? What is it that you value, and where are you giving away that importance of that value in the things that you're saying yes to, in the things that you're doing? Well, that's it from me for another week. Join me again next week as we continue this conversation around intention by helping you to look at your vision and get clear about where it is that you're going. I'll see you then.